Mike Jones. You know, have you heard the name Mike Jones? Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson.
Mike Jones.
Mike Johnson, not Mike Jones.
Mike Johnson.
Have you seen Mike? Have you seen Mike Johnson?
I can read that.
Have you seen Mike Johnson?
Not today.
So yeah, bit of background here, as you are all well aware, I'm sure. Speaker of the House, the United States went without a House. I haven't even started drinking yet. What the fuck is wrong with me? The United States has been without a Speaker of the House for, what is it, 3 weeks now? More than 20,
something like that.
More than 20 days. Adam Broughton in my YouTube chat says I like Doritos. I don't know if YouTube has a Dorito emoji, so sorry about that.
It can if you want it to with channel memberships.
I suppose I could do that, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, been without the Speaker of the House. This is the third longest stretch in history that the House has been without a Speaker. And, yeah, the other two times that beat this one, were both immediately before the Civil War. And the fourth time that was less time than this one was also immediately before the Civil War. So, yeah, that doesn't bode well.
That's welcome to America, where the only time, only measuring stick we have for when things were worse than now was right before we started killing each other.
Would you rather have a drywall-eating daughter or an anti-lag Dorito son? Is what I'm getting in my chat.
I think this convergence of our separate channel lords should not happen, but I don't think I have a say in whether or not it does.
It's an unholy union.
That's apparently produced a drywall daughter and an anti-lag chip son.
Yeah. We got.
No, I've been
the angle ruler, almost a Dorito.
My Discord chats, various ones, have all been blowing up pretty much for the last 3 days with conversations about the Speaker of the House situation. And I've just been like, I'm on vacation. I'm trying not to look in this shit.
Nice. Yeah, we got a overprotected atheist gifted a subscription, or was gifted a subscription. An anonymous gifter gifted 3 months of tier 1 to overprotected atheists. So thank you, anonymous gifter. I almost said anonymous grifter. Anyway,
what is that face?
So that's Mike Jones. That's his. Have you seen the video of them yelling "shut up" at the reporter?
No, I haven't.
Oh, we're gonna watch that video, but this is his smug. Everybody just yelled "shut up" with me face. Look at me, I'm so proud.
Lauren Boebert is right next to him. I think I know why he's making that face.
Oh, what was it? Somebody, I forget who said it or what the context was, but it was something. Oh yeah, with regards to the people that are flipping on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't believe I didn't even pull that for a story tonight. Anyways, everybody's flipping on Trump. They got Mark Meadows last night.
Next.
I don't know if they're going to give Rudy a deal, because like they've got Mark Meadows, they've got Jenna Ellis, they've got the Kraken.
They don't
like,
need Rudy.
They don't need Rudy at this point. So it might be better just to get him. But yeah. So with regards to all the people that were in Trump's inner circle that are now flipping on him, I saw someone say they're going down faster than Boebert in a theater.
I had a friend who sent me a message that said, at every single CPAC now, whoever gets the seat from the Republican Congress right next to Lauren Boebert is going to give her an expectant side eye every single time now.
Yep. Hundo P.
Just like that's not what you want to be known for in Congress.
Yeah. So this is from Mother Jones, which I've got 2 articles from them. They're not the most factually accurate source, but they're a good source generally. They exaggerate a little bit. Anyway, boo, shut up, shut up. That's what the gaggle of House Republicans yelled at a reporter who dared to ask Representative Mike Johnson about the 2020 election just one day before Johnson was officially elected to the speakership. So if you're unfamiliar, the question about Johnson's well-documented role in trying to help Donald Trump overturn the presidential election and the stunning dismissal it prompted could offer a starting point. So let's roll the tape. So the reporters on here. The reporter is really hard to hear at the beginning, but this person is transcribed as, says, "You helped lead the effort to overturn the 2020 election results, do you?" And then the Republicans replied. Oop. I did not mean to go straight to Twitter.
Welcome to Twitter.
Replay.
Johnson, you helped lead the efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Will you
That's great.
Okay, I can hear it.
Well, you probably couldn't hear it because it was set up to go out to the stream, not necessarily to you, because I captured that as an OBS import.
Fair enough.
And I'm not sure which output source I have set to Zoom, so sorry.
That's okay. We're all professionals.
The Go XLR is complicated, y'all. Anyway, so, like, yeah, reporter says, "You helped lead the effort to overturn the 2020 election results, do you?" And then all these Republicans in the background just yelled, "Boo, boo, shut up, boo, shut up." And, yeah, they looked all smug about it and then said, "Next question."
Just not even talk about the 2020 election stuff.
No, yeah, just ignore the fact that he voted to overturn the 2020 election. He literally voted to overturn democracy, and he's now the Speaker of the House.
Yep.
So, like, that's a pretty relevant question, if you ask me.
Jesus.
So the clip is a solid representation of what the GOP-led House has become, much of which is evident as they struggled for 3 weeks to find a nominee who could secure enough votes to become Speaker. So he spearheaded the House Republican effort to overturn the 2020 election results via Texas lawsuit. And other resume details include his claim that if women give birth to more able-bodied workers, then Republicans wouldn't need to cut Social Security and Medicaid.
Oh boy, let's just go ahead and call every single child who's getting born a pre-able-bodied worker.
But Suris, it gets worse because
but Rhino, what happens if some of the kids are disabled? Fuck them?
What are you, Catholic?
No, we're talking about the Republicans though.
Yeah, true. Okay. No. It gets worse than this because the next article I have is found on Answers in Genesis. It's Answers in Genesis magazine, and it's by who's that? Who's that? Is that
Mike?
Mike Johnson?
Wait. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
We haven't.
We have a guy who has written an article for Answers fucking magazine as Speaker of the fucking House.
Why?
Your
Why
eye twitch was very apropos. I know it's accidental, but like it fits.
Like my avatar's having a strong, but believe me, so am I.
Oh, we got Freedom Inc. in the chat. Hi, Freedom.
There's no way that we live in a timeline where AIG has successfully gotten somebody in power.
Well, he's only written the one article for them, and it was back in 2017, but still.
Yeah, that was literally just last presidency, and we're still reeling from half the shit from there anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was... this is about the Obergefell decision.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts off with a quote from John Roberts, always a good sign, saying, "The court invalidates the marriage laws of more than half the states and orders the transformation of a social institution that has formed the basis of human society for millennia."
Wait, invalidates the marriage laws? Are they trying to say that gay marriage being legal is bad and invalidates marriage?
Well, because a lot of the marriage laws were defined as one man and one woman. So if you say it can be two men, then that invalidates that law. But like allowing more people to get married when they want to is losing liberty, you see.
Yeah, so these are the people who scream all the time about 1984, and yet not one of them looked up the definition of doublespeak.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's so crazy. Anyway, he says, many people of faith have still not yet fully considered what this case may mean to them. Here's why it matters not just to Christians in the United States, but around the world. Whiskey RPG has gifted a watering hole membership to someone. I don't know who that went to. Oh, Alex Marshall. Alex Markel. So thank you for that, Whiskey RPG. Ooh, I received a level 2 hype train emote. I haven't set up a level 2 hype train emote though, so I'm not sure.
So Twitch has a set of unlockable emotes, like achievements in a video game.
Yeah,
basically.
I found it.
Yeah. So everybody gets them as long as you hit those trains.
Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, it says, here's why it matters not just to Christians in the United States, but around the world. We have already begun to see the impact on Christian bakers and county clerks. Okay, the baker thing, they always bring up the baker thing. They won that fucking case. Did they not realize that they won that case? The baker got the right to discriminate.
They won that case after he lost a case and had to appeal it, but yeah.
They shouldn't have won that case. He should have absolutely lost that case.
No, they definitely should have, but the world that we live in is one where I remember having an argument with one of my League of Legends buddies about that exact case a couple weeks after it happened, and the only argument he could give was like, well, you wouldn't want somebody having to make artwork that was pro pedophilia, and I'm like, are we actually comparing gay marriage to pedophilia? Is that how extreme we have to go to make this work? Oh, is that what we have to do?
So Tomoka Lovecraft says I didn't call them basic. I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed that because it didn't say what level of thingy it was gifted. So or did it? Yeah, no, it just said 1 membership. So yeah, Alex Markel, you basic. I've decided I'm not changing the names of my tiers on YouTube because I like calling people basic. Yeah, so like back to the baker thing. He won that case. He shouldn't have won that case. It was like a religious liberty thing, but like if you have a public facing business, it's like saying like my religion doesn't let me serve black people. Like is the classic gay thing like is just make it black, and does it still hold up? If you can do it, and it never does. Really doesn't. It never does.
I need trans people out of sports. Okay, cool. So are we gonna segregate sports by race again too? No. We would never do that.
Well, the whole thing about sports is that like sports were not segregated until women started kicking men's asses at them. That's when they became segregated. So like you want to protect women's sports, let them compete against the men again, because they can whip our asses sometimes.
Yeah, because there are certain muscle groups that are actually stronger for them than they are for us. Though the funny thing is people will usually go to the transports thing and go, oh, well, it's because there's a genetic advantage held by trans women. And then you just go, okay, cool.
And then they ban trans women from fishing competitions.
And from chess competitions.
Yeah, like, is there a genetic advantage to chess? They have better muscles for chess?
It's like, no, and then I had
why is chess even gender segregated? Why is chess and fishing even gender segregated in the first place?
So the reason chess was gender segregated, when chess was open, it was entirely male dominated. When they segregated it, they actually increased the net amount of professional chess players who were women when they segregated it. The thing that's confusing though with the recent rulings on chess is that they will allow trans women to participate in competition with other women professionally, but if they earn any titles, they are not allowed to keep them. That's the part that's confusing. And if somebody is born female and then transitions to male, then that actually causes them to lose their titles that they had when they were participating as a cis woman.
Yeah. So back to the baker thing again. I'm sure you've heard the common retort is like, oh, would you force a Jewish baker to bake a cake with a swastika on it? What's extra funny about that is apparently, I've heard this from Eli Bosnick, so like he is Jewish, like non-religious Jewish by heritage, but he also exaggerates things for effect, so this might not be entirely true. I haven't been able to verify it, but apparently there is at least one Jewish festival in the year where part of their tradition is to bake cookies with a symbol representing their enemies on it and then consume them in an act of like, I'm consuming my enemies sort of thing. And so there are absolutely Jewish bakers who do regularly bake cookies and stuff with swastikas on them because they are their enemies.
Because they want to gobble their hatred.
That's a part of the tradition. And so I think it's just hilarious that it's like, yeah, the default example that you go to is something that is like, no, yeah, we do that. That's a thing that we just already do. Neuromptopus saying it's Purim. So I will take that as confirmation that Eli was not, in fact, exaggerating this one.
That's the first
and
I've
then
heard
Fenna
about that.
corrected it to Purim, which I have heard of Purim before, so that sounds more... Anyway, back to the article written by the Speaker of the House. So we've seen the impact on Christian bakers and county clerks as they are pressured to choose between their conscience and conformity. It's like, well, here's the thing. Part of getting a job is knowing the implications of you getting that job. You don't get a job that requires you to do things that you know you are not capable of doing. If you're not capable of baking a cake for a gay wedding, don't become a baker who bakes wedding cakes. If you're not capable of giving out marriage licenses to same-sex couples, don't become someone who has to give out marriage licenses as part of your job. It's just like, if you're not comfortable using a gun, don't become a cop, don't join the military. Same thing.
Don't live in the American South.
It's
I mean, what?
It's like, I like, let's say I'm not like officially registered as a humanist, but I consider myself to be a humanist. I don't like go to the humanist meetings or anything, but I'm secular humanist. Let's call that my religion. So as a secular humanist, I am against killing. So should I sign up for the military and then sue them when they demand that I point my weapon at an enemy soldier and pull the trigger? Or should I maybe just not sign up for the military because I know that's an expectation of that job?
We've literally made movies about people who've gone in and done the conscientious objector thing and all of the problems that come out with that.
Yeah, like, no, you like conscientious objecting is like I've thought about this. If they were to ever bring back the draft, I really do have a moral stance against killing people. I do not want to be the pawn of a government pointing my weapon at some other poor schmuck who has either been brainwashed into his position or is there against his will and kill him just for wearing a different uniform. I do not want to do that.
That's actually the reason. That's the reason that that a lot of current military training, the way that they train you to kill the enemy now, they used to back in the 30s and 40s teach you that like the enemy is evil, the enemy is wrong, the enemy is everything wrong with the world, and you need to cleanse it. That was the way that military training was done. Now military training is these people are coming for your brothers in arms. These people are coming for the people around you. Make sure that the people around you are protected. That's the rhetoric has changed because the world is so interconnected now. They cannot brainwash most people past the point of remembering that the person on the other end of the barrel is a human too. Yeah. So they've had to change the way that they do it.
Yeah. And well, see, my thing would be like, I'm not going to necessarily, like, if they were to instate the draft, which, let's be real, they're not in Canada. That's not a thing that I'm in danger of anytime soon. But if it were to happen hypothetically, I feel like I would have the grounds to request, like, put me in a medical unit where, like, I can be one of the guys carrying people on a stretcher or something. Like, I could do that. But, like, I will not kill someone. I don't think I could kill someone.
There's very few scenarios I can imagine myself doing it. Most of it's like you attack a family member of mine and it's the only way to stop you. That type of stuff is that's the only stuff that goes through my head.
Yeah. Freedom Inc. says dehumanize and turb those you care about into soon-to-be victims equals military SOP coming from a veteran.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back to the article. Every believer needs to re-examine from the Bible how God intends us to live out our faith in a hostile world. It says to do what the government tells you to fucking do. That's one of the things in the Bible that they like to ignore. Like literally
render under Caesar, and also the part that says that all mandates from the government are actually mandates from God.
Yeah. God put the government in charge. You think God put the wrong people in charge? That's not for you to decide. That's for God to decide. So do what the government tells you.
God put Biden in charge.
Yep. According to the Bible. Well, Progress Only made it to the chat. Hi, Progress Only. The court's decision. So in a 5-4 decision, the majority declared that the U.S. Constitution requires every state to license and affirm quote-unquote marriages, because it's not actually a marriage if it's two penises, between two persons of the same sex. In reaching its conclusion, the court invalidated all existing laws throughout the country, including many state constitutional amendments that define marriage exclusively as the union of one man and one woman. So
Except
fucking
they didn't
what?
invalidate any of those
Yeah, no, it
because
didn't.
those marriages still happened.
Yeah, no, those are still real marriages that still exist in the world. It doesn't take away your heterosexual marriage. It did invalidate the laws. No, even that, it didn't invalidate them. It expanded them.
Yeah, and this is like when, again, take any of these things and just insert the word black instead of whatever social justice issue you're talking about.
Oh, like miscegenation. You can't, that used to be against the law. White person can't marry black person. And that was defended on religious grounds. So,
I mean, like, I remember years ago, this is not the type of person my mom is now, but when I was growing up, my mom actually did have a talk with me about not dating people of a different race because she was fundamentalist Christian, and that was something the Bible said you weren't supposed to do. I don't even remember where in the Bible it supposedly says that, but
it doesn't directly say that, but it is heavily implied in stories like when Phinehas killed the couple who was like, it was an Israelite man and a Canaanite woman, and God was cursing the camp with boils and sores or something because of their marriage, and so Phinehas came in and just straight up murdered them, and then God rewarded Phinehas for doing this righteous action and stopped sending the plague of boils and sores.
I wasn't aware that Canaanisi was killer.
Yeah. And that's one of those things where, like, it doesn't directly say don't date someone of a different race or don't marry someone of a different race, but that is the implication. And the fact that the solution to that was just straight up vigilante murder justice, that led to a lot of lynchings. Like, you can't...
So it's one of those things that would have been gotten from a preacher extrapolating that information and then going, this is what the Bible means.
God said it is righteous to kill the couple that marry outside their tribe, which in their case means outside their race or whatever. Like, yeah, no, it doesn't take much to extrapolate that from that. But yeah. Anyway, back to the article again. We keep getting distracted. Those who adhere to religious doctrines and that such persons may... so while the majority opinion acknowledges that the First Amendment still protects those who adhere to religious doctrines and that such persons may for now continue to advocate with the utmost sincere conviction that by divine precept same-sex marriage should not be condoned, this afterthought provided little comfort to the justices in the minority. So basically, you're still allowed to be a dick under religious grounds. We're not stopping you from saying, I don't think gay people should get married. We're just saying you can't actually stop gay people from getting married because that's the whole your right to swing your fist ends at someone else's nose thing. We're like, yeah, you can say you don't like gay people getting married all you want, but your freedom to say that doesn't mean that they can't actually get married.
Yeah. The double speak when it comes to the way these people view human rights in any way, shape, and form, I don't even have the right word to describe it, but it's one of those things where I feel like if somebody I knew honestly came to me with one of those opinions, my first thought would be just staring at him for 10 solid seconds with no actual like audio coming from my mouth. Just like, well, my guy, please don't tell me you're that stupid.
This is where I would like to start bringing in the slavery argument, because slavery is a thing that the Bible condones. Like in the New Testament several times, it says slaves obey your earthly masters, even the cruel ones. It tells Christian...
Especially if they're Christian.
Yeah, especially if they're Christian. Obey the Christian masters better than you would the secular masters or the non-Christian masters. They didn't have secular masters back then. What am I talking about? But then it also tells Christian masters, be just and fair with your slaves, which, according to the rules laid out in Exodus 21, could include beating them to within an inch of their lives. Like, according to biblical slavery, that could be just and fair. Yeah, don't take out their eyeball, don't actually kill them. And there were laws in the States when slavery was legal. There were laws protecting the slaves' lives. If you murdered a slave, you would be punished for that, theoretically. I doubt very many were, but like on paper, they got a lot of the laws for slavery in the States from the Bible. So you could say that it's like religiously, my religion says I'm allowed to own slaves. Now, you are allowed to go out in public and say, my religion says I'm allowed to own slaves. You're allowed to say that, but you're not allowed to keep another person as a slave. It's the same thing here. Like, you can say, my religion says I can own slaves all you want. You can't actually own a slave. You can say...
You can't do anything with that.
You can say, my religion forbids gay people from getting married. But that doesn't mean you get to forbid gay people from getting married.
You know what would be an interesting... This would be like a Twilight Zone / Star Trek hypothetical. But take every religious fundamentalist right now that people view as like good, honest men of God. And I want to see what would happen if you took them exactly as they are and wound the clock back 100 years, 200 years,
you'd get Frank Turek, the person who regularly complains about like progressive Christians aren't real Christians, and you get the Christians of 200 to 300 years ago calling him a progressive. Because
I was mainly thinking of like, would these people take advantage of women not being able to vote? Would these people take advantage of being able to own slaves? Would these people, like, how far down the depravity line would these people operate if society deemed that depravity as the norm?
Well, it depends on who you're talking about. Because, like, if we're talking Steven Anderson, he'd go all the way. It's like he just wears his bigotry right out on his sleeve.
I mean, his son calls himself an out-and-out Nazi, so, I mean...
Yeah.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
It does not. Yeah, so the majority graciously suggests that religious believers may continue to advocate and teach their views of marriage, bristled Chief Justice John Roberts. The First Amendment guarantees, however, their freedom to exercise religion. Ominously, that is not a word the majority uses. Hard questions arise when people of faith exercise religion in ways that may be seen in conflict with the new right to same-sex marriage. Okay, but Christianity gives you the right to own slaves. That's part of Christianity. Can you own slaves because that's me exercising my religion? No, because it affects other fucking people.
That's that thing where, like, if they want to argue that, oh, well, exercising my religion allows me access to X, Y, and Z. Okay, hold that thought. Let me go ahead and bring a Satanist in. Let me bring a Muslim in. Let me bring 50 Shades of Pagan in.
They're great paying lip service to religious freedom, but as soon as they are required to give actual religious freedom, no.
Yeah, as soon as you... This is one of the things that I don't remember if it's the Satanic Church or the Satanic Temple who's known for exploiting those loopholes more often than not.
I think it's the Temple.
I think it's the Temple.
Because the church is the one that was started by what's his face, LeVay? Yeah. No, they're kind of sketchy sometimes. It's the Satanic Temple that
put like the statue of Baphomet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, we get to have a religious statue. Okay, cool. Then anybody gets to put a religious statue here. This goat man with big boobs is here.
And
cool.
you find that 9 times out of 10, when they show up with their Baphomet statue, the Christians take their ball and go home. And they say, we'd rather no religions be represented than all religions.
And that basically shows you the exact color of the cloth that they're cutting from.
So then he quotes Justice Samuel Alito. Great.
Oh boy, Alito.
That's going to be fun. I assume after this case that those who cling to old beliefs will be able to whisper their thoughts in the recesses of their homes, but if they repeat those views in public, they will risk being labeled as bigots and treated as such by governments, employers, and schools. Fucking good.
But they are,
if you're a bigot, then yes, you should be labeled as a bigot.
So there's a conversational tactic that I used to be on the side of, but I've become more confused by in recent years. It's the idea that, oh, it should be okay And we should welcome everybody saying everything that they believe in out in the open without any worry of consequence of any kind.
No, there
Because
should be
then-
consequences.
It's like, but then, because then we'll know who they are, and you should be counteracting their bad ideas with your good ideas. I used to believe that particular line of reasoning more, but now I'm more of the opinion that humankind sucks ass at figuring out what a good idea looks like.
Jester Lord of Fools, you basic.
Welcome to basic.
Yeah,
just-
but again, make it about slavery. My religion says that I'm allowed to have slaves. I want to go out in public and proclaim that. Should people be allowed to call me a racist for saying I think black people should be my slaves? Yes, because that's what you are.
It is.
It's so fucking simple.
So my D&D group used to include one person who was fairly conservative, and he would say some fairly off-the-cuff things, and it usually ended in a discussion of some sort, and then things would go back to normal. But we noticed that the more racially charged things that he would say were always said when our DM wasn't there, and our DM was black.
Oh, God.
Every time. And it's just like, if you're not saying those things when he's around, I think you know that they're bad things to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you understand that deep down, and yet you're still saying them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, free speech does not mean you are free from the consequences of that speech. Like,
If you say something
you can
bigoted-
go out in public and say all the bigoted shit you want and not get arrested for it. But your employer, if they see that, they have the ability to be like, we don't want to be associated with someone with those views, so we're going to terminate our employee relationship with them, employer relationship with them. And that is also free speech, because apparently corporations are people, according to Republicans.
I think half the Republicans just jerk off to old pictures of Ayn Rand, honestly.
Yeah, probably. So then he goes on to say, could this new advancement of sexual liberty actually make it more difficult to speak freely about our faith and the teachings of the Bible? I fucking
Probably.
hope so.
It's like, you're allowed to speak freely, but it will be more difficult for you to do so if there is an angry mob that crowds around you because you said the things you said.
Dragon Spartan sent a bunch of red triangles, which I assumed were Doritos,
Discount Doritos.
but then they were the message was deleted by progress only. So I maybe is that like an anti-Semitic symbol that I'm not, or like a Nazi symbol or something? Is the red triangle a bad thing that I'm not familiar with? I thought it was just a Dorito thing. So I'm sorry for bringing that attention to that if it's a bad message, but
I have no idea. I guess we'll have a answer in about whenever YouTube decides to not lag.
oh, Whiskey RPG just gifted a membership to Lord of Uzkalak. So Lord of Uzkalak, ya basic. I don't know if it's actually the basic level. Apparently it's not giving them a choice, so it's probably just basic. But it's still fun.
Ugh.
Jas has said it's Dorito, so I don't know.
It's discount Dorito at home.
Discount Dorito. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen Dragon Spartan 90 before. I don't think that would have been a bad message, so, but I could see that having been something, so I don't know. And I probably shouldn't have used the name of the
there's
person.
there's a whole section in here about the Fallout. I'm curious about what Johnson thinks the Fallout is.
Dorito from Wish.com.
Dorito from Temu.
Okay. I don't know what's going on in my chat right now, so I hope it's staying wholesome. Most of my peeps are good. I trust most of my peeps.
It's when the ones from my chat come in that you have to be worried.
No, I've only had the occasional trolls, but I also, like, I have noticed sometimes when I go back and, like, re-edit stuff, that, like, I've noticed, like, there's been some controversy that I've, like, completely missed. So, like, maybe I have just missed it. Progress only says I'm willing to admit a mistake. I'm not willing to just flat out say it was a mistake. For all I know, that is an actual thing. I'm just not entirely familiar with that.
Look, I'm thankful that hospitals
thought
are
it was
willing
meant.
to
I thought it was meant to be the Dorito thing. So Naramdaput's gifted a watering hole membership to Michael Naram. So Michael, you basic.
I'm at least happy that hospitals admit mistakes, because otherwise they wouldn't let me in.
That's brutal.
Look, I can aim the brutality at me. I'm allowed to do that.
Absolutely. So the fallout. Even before Obergefell, from California to Maine, religious charities, Christian schools, and Christian-run small businesses were already being fined and punished for not endorsing same-sex marriage. So here's the thing. The charities, schools, Christian businesses, or whatever, if they are... Well, I guess the businesses wouldn't qualify for this, but like if they're getting tax-exempt status based on their Christianity or whatever, the whole premise of being tax-exempt is that we are providing value to the community that makes up for us not paying taxes. It's basically government subsidizing your activities under the presumption that you are providing at least the equivalent value of what they are subsidizing in not charging you taxes. So, if you're providing this value to society, the presumption is you're providing it to all of society without discriminating against people based on things like, oh, I don't know, sexual orientation. So like, yeah, Christian organizations often get exempt from having to play by the rules when it comes to that, which is not fair, and they should be held to the same standard as everybody else.
Yes. So when he mentions in here, should a Christian charity be denied tax exemption because it supports traditional marriage? Ignore the traditional marriage.
Yeah, I was going to say traditional marriage is like, if you look at the Bible, traditional marriage is between one man and as many women as he can afford to keep in his household, whether they be sex slaves or actual like Hebrew wives or people that are captured in combat.
Sisters, so long as you work 7 years for each of them.
Yeah. There's a reason the Old Testament doesn't outlaw lesbian sex. It only outlaws gay sex. Lesbian sex doesn't get outlawed in the Bible until the society had already decided that it was a one man, one woman situation. I always found that kind of interesting. Because, like, I'm thinking, if I was in a threesome with me and two women, it'd be more fun if the two women could do things together, because I only have one penis.
That sounds like a skill issue. Do better.
Okay. I have fingers and tongues and stuff. Yeah, okay, whatever.
No, just get a silicone one from Wish. It'll be fine.
Who says I don't have that already?
Hey. I'm not kink shaming. I'm kink asking why.
That's fair. So in the name of non-discrimination, states are denying and withholding licenses, certifications, contracts, state accreditation, and nonprofit status simply because Christians discriminate against people in a bigoted manner. Oh, I mean, hold to a biblical definition of marriage.
It's funny. If memory serves, didn't Pastor Greg Locke lose his 501c3?
No, I don't think so. There was no follow-up on that. I don't think he just he tore up paperwork on stage in a performative action, but I don't think he actually followed up on that. I think he still enjoys his 501c3. I'm not sure of that, so don't quote me on that. I might be wrong.
Man, that sounds like something a little bitch would do, but that's just,
yeah,
I don't know.
He is a little bitch, so.
He is. Look, the only fight he's ever won was against an empty Barbie house.
No, the Barbie's one.
That notification thing is in a really bad spot. I need to completely redesign my stream with Twitch in mind, because there's too much going on. I don't even know, like the follower goal thing. I don't even remember setting that up. But apparently,
if you're using Stream Elements, it has some default ones that are all set up for you. So if you put the bar there, it will just do its thing.
I started it when it was like 50, and then I might have changed the number at some point, but like whatever. Anyway, should a Christian charity be denied tax exemption simply because it supports traditional marriage? Yes.
Yeah.
Should a Christian college be denied accreditation for allowing only heterosexual couples into married housing? Yes.
Yes.
Should a Christian social worker be denied a professional license simply for declining marriage counseling to a same-sex couple? Abso-fucking-lutely. That one above all. Like, above all the other ones, a social worker who refuses to acknowledge same-sex couples? Like, no, your whole job as a fucking social worker is to, like, work the social stuff. Like, yes, it is so important that you recognize that that's a valid family structure.
God. Those are the types of situations that I would love to just...
Progress only made it to my Twitch chat.
Those are the situations that I would love to just, like, go into with Saki, specifically because the Christian would have no idea that they are technically supposed to be bigoted right now.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of you and Saki. You guys make a cute couple.
Aw, thank you. I think she's pretty cute too, and then
I did see your featured video where it's like, it's not gay to suck my girlfriend's dick. And I, like, yeah, no, it's not.
Wait, was that a featured video?
It was a featured video on your Twitch channel. I think it's still there if you want to go to it.
Oh, I remember. So the thing with Twitch is that other people have the ability to clip from your stream.
Yeah.
So somebody clipped me saying that on stream, and Twitch has automatically featured that.
Less Than Lucid has quoted me as "work the social stuff." Vice Rhino 2023. Come on, I'm on my third beer, man. Like, I'm allowed to slur a little bit at this point.
Different kind of
like,
slur.
Yeah, no, well, no, not that slur. I know I haven't had enough beers for that.
No.
I just hear Saki in the background going, "No, Suris, no, bad, stop."
She's trying to be like, no, don't get canceled today. Not today.
Get canceled tomorrow.
You can get canceled tomorrow.
I was debating right now whether to say like Nigeria and then use the censor button on my Go XLR to make it sound like I was slurring. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
No. You're not slurring, you're speaking in cursive.
Yeah, well, that's the slurring that alcohol causes, not the racial slurring.
I don't know if we're talking about the dude who was in my Dungeons and Dragon party.
Yeah.
12 beers in, it started the other ones.
Oh, yeah, well, we're not talking about that. So anyway, we get to Americans watched a real-life drama play out in Kentucky last fall. So that's last fall in 2017. As County Clerk Kim Davis was arrested and jailed by a federal marshal simply for refusing to include her name and endorsement on a state's new same-sex marriage license. Was that why she went to jail?
I remember there being a little more to that story than that.
Slightly, yeah. So it's refused to... I made a note for myself because it's too many details to... But refused to issue same-sex marriage licenses... That's where she started. Then she transitioned.
She was in contempt of court.
Yeah, let me tell the story. Let me tell the story. So
Okay.
she started off by refusing to issue same-sex marriage licenses. Then she transitioned to refusing all marriage licenses in her area, in order to avoid the discrimination claim. Because if I just if I don't issue any marriage licenses, then I'm not discriminating, right? So, but it's like literally her job as a county clerk to issue marriage licenses. So that'd be like if I was a janitor and I refused to mop floors. Like, no, that's part of your job. You fucking do it. The U.S. District Court ordered her to issue the licenses. She did not. And so she was then jailed for 5 days for contempt of court. You're my girlfriend, not my manager. That's words to die by.
Jesus.
Yeah, so she was put in jail for contempt of court, not for refusing to issue licenses, which, like, yeah, it was the court told her to issue the licenses. But she also just this past September, she lost her lawsuit and was ordered by the courts to pay $100,000 to the couple that she denied a marriage license to. Well, to one of the couples she denied a marriage license to. So
One of.
yeah,
Jesus
one of.
fuck.
Yeah, so that's fun. And yeah, what's really great about that is that the conservatives have not rallied around her for that one. So it's like they used her as long as it was convenient for them and then discarded her as soon as it was not. I just got a big notification on my Twitch chat thing saying we did it. Thanks for the support. 10 out of 10. I don't know what triggered that, but something happened.
Ninjest gifted a subscription to Fennec the Rabbit.
Yeah.
And that was your 10th subscription for the day.
Oh, okay. Yay.
You reached a sub goal.
I reached my sub goal. How did that change? I thought that was followers goal.
So it's the Stream Elements one tracks all of them simultaneously, and there's different ways you can
Yeah,
show the
but
progress bar.
I thought I had it set to subs or to followers.
Right, but if you hit a different goal, it will flip to that goal first to showcase it. There's the Stream Elements one can either show all the goals at the same time, or it can show one at a time and then prioritize them based on which ones you've reached.
I didn't see that setting. I'm
Well,
a professional streamer, y'all. I know what I'm doing. I'm not a streamer. I'm a scripted video guy.
We are on opposite sides of the content creation area.
Anonymous gifted progress only a subscription. Whoa, that was a fucking late. That was a late thingy. Oh, no. That one just came in now.
Yep.
Okay, progress only got a membership on my channel on the main thing.
Yeah, you got to remember progress only is in both of your chats right now.
Yeah, progress only is all over the place. They're splattered everywhere like a bukkake at the end of a party.
A bukkake of subscriptions.
Scripted video guy streaming twice a week. Yeah, but the scripted videos are the primary source of income for me, okay? Although, with how well the Twitch thing is going right now, when I don't even fucking know what I'm doing, maybe I should be a streamer.
I make a decent bit off of Twitch. It's comparable to my YouTube revenue right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I owe Ground News a Make Good video because one of my videos didn't reach 30,000 views.
Oh.
It's okay. I kind of knew that was going to happen. Like, they contracted me for 3 videos, and it's like, most of my videos hit that, but sometimes they, like, it's not unusual for them to not hit that in the time frame they specified. So it's like, I'm probably going to need to make good. So I kind of just included that in the initial calculation. Anyway, what should Christians do? Well, when possible, Christians should still take advantage of the legal resources God has put at their disposal, including influencing public opinion and elections going on or going to court. Or electing a friggin' creationist Speaker of the House who writes for Answers in Genesis, apparently.
I mean,
But
so
what
he's
I
at
find-
least taking he's at least taking his own advice.
What I find even better here is that, like, we've been comparing this to slavery this whole time because Christianity endorses slavery. Well, the Bible endorses slavery. Modern Christianity will pretend like it doesn't, but the Bible does endorse slavery. And then down here, I highlighted this one in red because it stuck out to me. It says, when Paul addresses slaves regarding contentment even in their unfortunate condition in 1 Corinthians 7:21, where he said, like, everybody should stay in the position that they were when God called them. Even if you're a slave, don't let it bother you if you're a slave. Just stay a slave. He added the qualifier on the end, but if you can obtain your freedom, then sure, go ahead and do that. But, like,
But
he started
Paul
it with be
literally
content
told the
as a
dude to-
slave.
But Paul literally told the dude to go back to his master.
Oh, you mean the book of Philemon?
Yep.
Where we actually don't know the end of that book, and the master, like Philemon's master, would have been, under Roman law, he would have been justified in executing him when he got back, and we don't know whether or not that happened. Because it doesn't give us...
Or we know exactly what happened, it just wasn't written down.
No, it doesn't give us the end of the story. It's left to our own, like, maybe Philemon, or no, maybe Onesimus, was Onesimus the slave or the slave owner? Was it Philemon that was the slave owner?
I think Philemon was the slave. Let me check.
I think Onesimus was the slave, and Philemon was the owner. So anyway, like, the slave owner might have freed him.
Tangent.
He might have freed him. He might not have. If he didn't free him, he would have been well within his rights in Roman law to execute him. So Paul might have sent a slave back to be executed by his master as one of the books of the New Testament.
Jeez.
Oh, I got someone in Twitch asking if the stream is happening in multiple places at once.
Yes.
That's unusual. Yes, it's happening in multiple places at once. I'm on YouTube and Twitch. And it's weird that someone on Twitch doesn't know about my YouTube. So I'm kind of happy about that. Anyway, let's see. Oh, I have 23 viewers on Twitch. I think that's a new high for me. I'm going to say that's because you're not streaming right now. That's probably why, if we're being real.
It's gonna be interesting when I get back home and I can do simul streaming to see what our numbers look like on Wednesday when we're both simul streaming.
Come on, you know our audiences are probably going to have both our streams going at the same time, just one of them muted.
They're gonna have all four going at the same time.
Because our audiences are great like that.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah, so if you're watching me on Twitch, I also stream on a YouTube channel called The Watering Hole. My main channel is Vice Rhino. Suris is Nico Suris.
On Twitch, yes.
On Twitch.
And then Suris on YouTube.
And Suris the Skeptic on YouTube, I think.
He said Nico.
Nico, sir. Is it not Nico?
It's Neko.
Neko?
Neko.
Okay, this is like... So...
This is Berenstein Bears territory.
No, I was going to say, like, when I played Ocarina of Time as a kid, I read it as the Great Deku Tree. Or no, I read it as the Great Deku Tree. And then when I heard streamers as an adult say the Great Deku Tree, I was like, what the fuck? It's not a fucking Deku Tree, it's a Deku Tree.
Your childhood has been ruined.
Yeah, no, so I get E's wrong, apparently.
You know, my singing instructor said I get E's wrong, too.
We got some first-time chatters. Noel Aguirre, make that 24 Rhino. Sisso Master says hi, Twitchers. So, yeah. I'm getting big on Twitch. Got the double digits.
1,000 boomer jokes just went through my head.
Fuck. Oh, fuck. God damn it. I'm sorry, Drew. I didn't mean to. Unhide. Okay. Whew. I accidentally hit Drew Harrison on my channel because the stupid fucking add-on makes everything a right click. I just meant to click on Tomoko Lovecraft's Umu because it's almost an Uwu. But there's a boss in Hollow Knight called Umu. And there's an add-on for Hollow Knight called the Uwu add-on where you can make Umu say Uwu.
I see Binary Hedgehog in the YouTube chat just said, I went to check Suris's channel, but the @ used on YouTube leads to a channel with a short title. What happens when we combine a Sylveon with a Nerf gun? Binary, that is my video. I did when I was really hyperfixated on Nerf modding.
I'm not going to leave you for Twitch, Whiskey RPG.
I had my chat design a Nerf gun, and it ended up being just a Sylveon gun, ribbons and all. So that is mine. It's just a very old video.
I remember your Nerf phase. Wampa77 says, I really like the 24-hour Vice Rhino reruns that were going on here. I will probably do that again. That was mainly a gimmick to get me to affiliate status sooner so I could actually like give people emojis and shit. Oh, and what did Meadows do now? You haven't heard? Mark Meadows flipped on Trump. And that was the former chief of the White House staff. So that's fucking huge news.
That's why we don't need necessarily Giuliani now.
Yeah, Trump's inner circle has almost all flipped. Like it's been a domino effect. Like, what's her face went? Sidney Powell went first, and then as soon as Sidney Powell flipped, everybody else started flipping, and it's been fun to watch, and I love it. And like we've had a bad week this week. There have been some bad things that have happened, in our little private community. I'm not going to give details, but there have been some bad situations going on. In my household, it's been a rough week for not quite as bad reasons, just reasons that make me grumpy. But like to hear that Trump had a much worse week than me, because like he comes out of a court hearing to hear that Mark Meadows flipped on him after hearing that Sidney Powell and what's the other one? Fuck, I can't remember her name.
Like I mentioned, I've not been following all of that as much as I normally would because of vacation reasons.
Okay. Who has flipped on Trump? We're gonna get to tweets eventually, I promise. Let's see. This one was published October 24th, so this will be... Just give me the fucking list of names, guys. Sidney Powell, Cheese Bro, Patrick Burney, didn't hear that one. Vice President of the Finance. Okay, sure. Michael Cohen, yeah, we all knew that one.
Yeah.
Sean Still, David Schaefer, Kathleen Latham. Come on, give us the big names. Mark Meadows, that's a big name. Jenna Ellis, there we go. Is that it?
And then
Jenna Ellis, Mark Meadows. There was 4, wasn't there? 4 of the big ones. Cheesebro and Sidney Powell. Okay, Ellis, Powell, Cheesebro, Meadows. Those are the big ones. Anyway, okay, fuck this guy. It's a long fucking article. Basically, the Speaker of your House is a bigoted piece of shit who doesn't like gay people and is a piece of shit. The Kraken released the flippers, pun dominated.
She must plead against Trump. Jesus.
Okay.
Hey, I just quickly want to give a thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who keep this show running. YouTube and Twitch are a pretty bumpy ride at the best of times, and the stability a Patreon provides me is worth more than I can say here. I'd also like to thank each and every one of my $20 and up patrons here, and they would be Red Joker, Britzkrieg, Cameron, Dren, Jemshin, Smiling DM, Poundini, Mabbity Babbity, Naomi, Isaac, Jordan, Ravi, Giuni, Kiratorian, Prisma, all of you, I'm not saying that part, and Starlight. And finally, thank you to everyone else that helps keep this channel alive. While you're here, why not check out another video? And thank you for watching.